The time is nay. The time is nay. Well, to fix our 2014 Toyota Yaris. We're coming up on almost 2 months since it was involved in a collision while in a rental. It's time to fix it.
Now, if you guys saw our previous video on the 2014 Toyota Yaris, then you know that this car was damaged right at New Year's. We actually tried to originally file the claim with the third party that our guest was involved with in this accident. That claim was denied. We then went to Turo, and we didn't want to start repairs on the car until the claim was approved and until we were paid out by Turo for this wreck, which we have been, and so now it means we can officially get the car repaired.
But before we can dig into the numbers, let's repair the car. So looking at the front end, the bumper cover needs to come off, this passenger headlight and the fender, but also while taking a look at the hood supports, we can see that from this side to the non-damaged side, that they are completely out of whack. So either the hood, which might be a little bent, but also the bracketing is bent, so we'll have to figure something out for the hood later. But another thing I noticed was this front radiator core support. We can see here that it's actually angled towards the back of the car, and we can tell down here in this front collision point, they collapse right there. We're gonna have to pull that out as well. Oh, look at that. I think that looks pretty good. That's way better. I think that it'll suffice.
I think so if you really squint your eyes.
Yeah, it'd be a great 50-footer. Nah, just kidding.
50-footer.
So a couple things we can see right here is that this bracket got a little bent from the fender being pushed in. That is pretty easily fixable, just like that. Just got to make it parallel with the car. But this one, however, is the bracket, and they're actually welded or riveted to the body. And they're pretty pliable like that, but we have to make it match the other side, which is going to give us the correct angle for the fender. We can always come back and fix this, but we're going to go ahead and do our best since it's very accessible by beating it into place. It's the best way.
One hour later.
All right, and looking at the other side, this actually matches up pretty well. This is really just an additional support for the fender on the top, and it's gonna have to match this line right going down here, but we can do some further adjustments whenever we get the fender all situated. Let's work on the front. All right, so now that I've got this front crash bar pretty much leveled out, the reason why I did that, even though I'm replacing this crash bar and replacing this bumper reinforcement piece as well that connects to the frame, I want to make sure that at least the right side that isn't undamaged, that's not going to get replaced, or this piece back here is good and leveled by using this crash bar to kind of balance that out. So now that we've got that taken care of, let's get all these broken parts off of the vehicle. So this crash bar support should be a little angled, but we can see from right about here, it did its job. It ended up buckling exactly where it needed to do to avoid, or I'm sorry, absorb some of that impact that it took on that fender bender. Now, as far as these other two pieces that were for the radiator core support, my plan was to maybe straighten these out because they are meant to collapse like this. But honestly, it's just worth to replace them. They're pretty cheap. I think this one was like 20 bucks, and this one was maybe, I think, 11 or 10 bucks. So definitely worth replacing these. And that way we can get the car looking right whenever we put the new bumper cover on. Let's swap all the old parts from the old damaged bumper cover onto the new one. All right, so old bumper cover here. We have to remove these grills and these little panels, license plate, as well as this logo and these little trim pieces and the top pieces, and surprisingly, the inside lower grille and this inside upper portion as well. So let's get to it. Well, that actually sounds kind of boring. Let's just do it like this. And ta-da, all done. So now I can do this. Yeah! And we can assemble the new bumper cover. All done. Let's get this assembled. And just like that, let's go over exactly what we replaced. The fender was pushed out, the headlight was damaged, the hood needed adjustment, and as well as a brand new bumper cover was needed. Now, we didn't have to replace any of the plastic trim pieces that were the inside. They ended up swapping right over, and they fit pretty well despite being right in that damage point, but I'd say those look pretty good, especially how it looked before.
Now, like we mentioned earlier, this car was damaged at the beginning of January, so it's been right about 2 months that it's been out of commission, which is an abnormally long time for us. Typically, we like to have our cars fixed within about a month. In this case, it did take a bit longer because of the whole insurance debacle, but once we got all of the parts in, once the claim got approved, we were able to get the car fixed within a couple of days.
So we were paid out $5,480.33. The cost of parts was $813. Now, as far as labor, that's free, of course, because I did it myself, and it only took me about 5 hours of my time, meaning that we made a total of $4,667.33 off of just this claim.
And our car wasn't totaled, despite the fact that for a brief moment there, we thought that it might be. We were able to get the car totally fixed, and it looks pretty much exactly like what it looked like before. And the car has already passed its state inspection and its maintenance inspection, which means that it is already listed back on the Turo platform, and we expect for it to go out on its first rental since the accident any day now.
Starting off March strong.
Now, sometimes whenever we go through the process of repairing a Turo car ourselves, you can sort of tell that the car was damaged and the outcome doesn't come out quite like we were hoping. But in the case of this 2014 Yaris, it is nearly perfect. Not only does it look as good as it did before the accident, but it also looks pretty dang close to how it looked whenever we purchased the car back, I don't know, when did we purchase this car? Last year?
Yeah,
It looks incredible. And we were able to make a good profit from it. We're able to get it back on the road. It is a huge win.
But guys, as always, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next episode.